My ex-wife and kids have been creating false allegations about me abusing our daughter for the last year, and after it finally got out that I was innocent, I thought everything could go back to normal, but now I want nothing to do with all of them. Hold on, because this is a doozy. Last year my kids, 9F and 7M, ran away late at night/early in the morning. When found by some city officials, they claimed I kicked them out of the house. I woke up the morning of to the cops and CPS knocking on the door. I told my side of the story from what I knew, and they had my, now ex-wife, tell her side while keeping us separated. The cops claim our stories don't match and end up arresting me. I bailed myself out that same day and went to live with my parents for a while. I'm dealing with court, scared that I'm going back to jail or prison, and that I'll lose my job that I had only been at for a year. A little over a month goes by and I get a phone call to have a meeting with a CPS woman in charge of our case. My daughter ended up making more allegations against me that did not make any sense to the CPS people, and when they asked her questions, she was unable to give them answers. My son ended up breaking first and admitting the whole thing was made up and that my daughter was the one to orchestrate everything. This reveal led to the charges being dropped and my daughter getting counseling and psychiatric help. For a while, I thought things were good. We were on our way to fix things. I kept trying to get all of us into therapy, both individually and family. I was already in therapy due to this whole situation anyway. My ex kept dragging her feet and it never went anywhere. After some other situations with being displaced due to a natural disaster and me trying to get things packed up in our old apartment, I get told by my ex she wants a divorce, so now I'm having to rush and try to find a place to live, which I did luckily. I actually move in tomorrow. On the 14th of June I get served an emergency protection order by the county sheriff's office. I'm told it's because I allegedly hit my son and gave him a concussion while in the grocery store, where there are cameras. He had been taken to the emergency room by my ex on the 14th, but this event allegedly happened on the 10th. I had told my ex that due to me having to get this house to rent, along with utilities in my name, adding up to over $2,000, that I wasn't going to be able to pay certain bills this month, but that I'll get them caught up as soon as I can to get everything paid off and even. I signed for the deposit on the 11th and the kids had been with her while I did this paperwork and there was no issue. On the same morning I had taken my kids to the park so they could play and recorded videos of them being silly and having fun. I was talking to my therapist this week and I told her what was going on and how I felt about being around my ex or the children. It's 2 years in a row of false allegations. I want nothing to do with any of them now. I'll pay child support gladly. I had an agreement with my ex before this all happened of paying $1,000 a month, $500 per paycheck, for child support. After all of this, am I a jerk for not wanting to be around the children and my ex after everything gets settled and found out to be lies again? Commenter. It'd begin to really push the false claim to police that you hit your son at the supermarket. I want to claim it's the ex, and if she did that it's super illegal. NTA if you want to bolt, though it seems everyone here just hates being around everyone. Commenter 2. Not a jerk. I am one of the loudest fight for your kids advocates ever. It takes disasters for me to think a parent should distance themselves. You sir, have a disaster here. My big suspicion? How sure are you that your wife, ex, isn't the one orchestrating all of this? It seems extremely unlikely that without her orchestrating this that both your kids would make up such nonsense one after another. I think you get the best lawyer you possibly can and go for broke. You either get 100% uninhibited custody etc. or walking away may be your only option. If you lose, just wait for her to later expose herself. Then reconsider. Update. So I have an update, along with answering some questions better from my previous post. When I first posted this I was not in a good headspace and I realized that I wasn't very clear. To be honest, I'm still not in a good headspace, but it's a little bit better. For starters, these false allegations started last year when my kids were 9 and 7. When I said 2 years I meant calendar years. When I said I spoke to the police about my side of the story last year, I meant what happened the night before the police and CPS showed up at the front door. I had gotten home, spent some time with the kids and my ex, then wife, before giving the kids their melatonin gummies. This was done on an as-needed basis, mainly 2 to 3 times a week at most. After that I went and took a shower, made myself some dinner, then ate and cleaned up the kitchen before spending more time with my then wife before we both went to bed. Due to a contraction happening when she was being given the epidural, she sleeps better propped up, so she slept on the couch while myself and the kids slept upstairs. The next morning is when I woke up to the cops at the door with CPS. I was charged with child abandonment and arrested. It took over a month for the truth to come out about my kids making this up due to the fact my daughter was saying I was having intercourse with her. The CPS agent conducting the investigation tried to ask more details, and that's when my daughter started crying and admitted she made it up because she couldn't give details. The only reason my daughter even knew what lovemaking was is that my ex and I were in the bedroom, we both thought the other locked the door, and my daughter walked in on us. Moving to now, I don't know how my son got this supposed concussion. We had court again on Monday, the 21st, and when the judge asked her, she told him that after talking with the state trooper we have decided to not press criminal charges. I asked the judge if there was any evidence that they had about what they're claiming I did, and he told me that since no charges were filed, there's no evidence gathered to give to me. I want to thank everyone for their answers on my last post. Thinking about those feelings was making me sick to my stomach, and I just needed some perspectives from people who weren't emotionally involved. I thought about this since last month, and I made the decision to tell the judge I want the divorce process and this EPO to be over and done with, and that I just want to be left alone. I'm still questioning if this was the right decision or not. I'm just not sure what else I could do. I work 12-hour days 5 to 6 days a week. I have no way to take care of the kids, so I can't take them in. Even then, am I supposed to get to the point where the court system says supervised visits aren't needed anymore and just start wearing a body camera around the kids and just be scared all the time? Looking over my shoulder constantly just to make sure that I'm not going to end up in jail again? We have a hearing set up for December to hopefully get everything finalized and finished. I keep thinking about the kids going trick or treating in 3 months, going back to school next month, how we won't be decorating Christmas trees together or making cookies for Santa, and I start crying all over again. I'm not sure what else I could have done though that wouldn't have made me a paranoid mess 24/7. This will be the last update until December or January, I guess. Thank you again for everyone saying I wasn't a jerk for feeling this way. Have a good one, Reddit. Commenter. Did the kids explain why they said that you were abusing them? OP. For last year my daughter said she saw it in a YouTube prank video. My ex's mom gave them tablets for Christmas the year before, so that's how she managed it. I was against the whole thing because they're so young, but I was ignored about it. Commenter 2. Your daughter lied about you doing stuff to her, among many other allegations, and she says that she was motivated to behave the way that she did after she apparently watched a YouTube prank video? There is more to this story than your daughter is letting on. Either your ex-wife has coached your daughter well, or your daughter is incredibly manipulative at a very young age. Commenter 3. Get copies of the kids' medical records, you may need them later.